Sometime in 1973, I passed out from college and I was like any other student looking for a job. And the best job offer I got was for 400 rupees per month salary. My house rent that time was 500 rupees. So I said I will not work anything less than 600 rupees because after at least it should meet my house rent. The offer was given to me by Calcutta Soap Works owner, who was my uncle's friend. Since I didn't take this offer, and I had gone and visited his factory, and I got an offer that one of my uncle has imported a lot of material, dirty plastic from tea gardens, and those needed to be washed, and the people who were existing involved in washing these plastics were using hand and conventional method of washing, and it was taking a lot of time and their productivity was very less. So he needed somebody who could wash large quantity and quickly. I had seen the washing machine in my hand, and I was always interested in doing some innovative work, and I had earlier also, when I was a child, I had designed a swapping machine for my mother when she underwent an operation. So I thought it's very easily, all I need to do is replicate the normal domestic washing machine and make it in a big form. So I used a 5 horsepower motor and I did the whole thing in reverse, and I used some of the discarded big cauldrons which were used in the soap factory. I was using pump to pump water from the nearby pond, and I was washing the plastic mechanically using this machine, and my productivity is very high. I was able to wash almost 200 kgs a day, and I was getting 1 rupee per kg for washing. My cost was about 50 paisa per kg, and I was easily making 100 rupees a day, and in 30 days I was making 3,000 rupees, which was a very princely sum in those days. And I was able to do, but then what happened was that there was a trade union movement which was going on in Calcutta those days. Communists had come to power, and the factory had strike and the factory closed down. And the people working in that factory also told us that they will not let me also run my factory because I was a friend of the owner, and they said I can just take out my material and machines and all that, but other than that they will not allow me to operate. So I had that factory closed, and then again I was looking for a business opportunity. Now I thought that it is not advisable to get into business where my competitors are very well established and experienced and has better connection, because that will not give me a level playing field. So I must get into a business which is absolutely new, where my competitor is as new as I am, and at least I'll get a level playing field. I mean, they have no advantage over me, excepting that they may have more money or they may have more business experience, but not experience in that business. So I knew that TV was coming to Calcutta, and I knew also that TV has been a great business when it was introduced in Delhi and Bombay before coming to Calcutta. So I thought I will have a distributorship of TV, and there were a lot of companies which were there. The company I zeroed on was JK TV because my grandfather used to work for JK. My uncle was working for one of the JK companies. JK was very well established brand. It was owned by Singhanias of Kanpur. They were in various other businesses, and they were the first to make Indian TV. So I asked my uncle, who was working in one of the JK organization in Calcutta, that he should arrange a meeting with me with his boss, Mr. Bharatari Singhania, and he was very reluctant. He said no. I mean, and then I said, why? He asked me, why you want to meet? I said, look, I want to ask him to recommend my case to his cousin Govindhari Singhania, who was looking after that factory. He said, no, how can they give you? I mean, what is your background? You have no experience. You are absolutely new and all that. So he somehow didn't introduce me to his boss. Then I found out one of our family friend, their friend was Govind Babu's classmate. They studied together in school. His name was Mr. Bhandari. So I asked him that please arrange my telephonic conversation with Mr. Bhandari. So I spoke to Mr. Bhandari. I told him that this is what I am interested in. He said, I said, only arrange at least a meeting with me with Mr. Govind Hari Singhania, and if the meeting is fixed, I'll come and meet him in Kanpur. So he said, yeah, meeting is fixed, please come to Kanpur. And he said, Govind Babu sits in Kamla Tower, which was in the center of the city. And next to Kamla Tower was Dharamshala, which is owned by Bhandaris. So he said, you can come and stay in one of our room of our Dharamshala, and the meeting can happen. When I reached Kanpur, and by the time, JK has already published an ads asking for, application for distributorship, dealership, and they had asked that they can give distributorship, but they have to, somebody who's capable of depositing 1 lakh rupees as security deposit should apply. So I got 1 lakh rupees draft made in their name. I had taken an application, and I went to Kanpur. The first time I travelled in Rajdhani Express, I got in Kanpur, and I went to Kamla Tower, and it was early in the morning, the train reached. I called Mr. Bhandari, and Mr. Bhandari said, look, the whole program is changed. You are not meeting Govind Hari Singhania, but you will be meeting his general manager of JK Electronics in the factory. So he said, this is the factory address, or you ask anybody, they know at this area the JK TV factory. So I had my breakfast and I went to meet Mr. Bhatnagar, who was the general manager of JK Electronics. Mr. Bhatnagar didn't make me wait long, and he called me inside, and then he grilled me with all the information which I had, what my grandfather was doing and how did I choose JK, why did I choose JK, why TV, what I have a future, this and that and all that, everything, what is my educational qualification and what is my family background and so on and so forth. By the time we finished the discussion, it was I think around 11:30, 12. And he said, I'm going to my house for lunch. You can also go and have lunch, and let's meet again at 2 o'clock. So I said, fine. So I went, had my lunch, and I had come back at 2 o'clock. He called me, and I saw that 3-4 more people were sitting. Then later on I realized that one of them, Sardarji, was marketing manager, and one was production manager, and Mr. Bhatnagar himself was general manager. And he said that we have decided to give the distributorship to you. Are you ready to sign the agreement? I said, yeah, I am ready to sign the agreement. Then he said, would you like to read the agreement? I said, are you going to make any changes in the agreement if I suggest? They said, no. Then I said, what's my point in reading the agreement? I'll sign because I want to take the agency at whatever is the terms. He said, have you brought 1 lakh rupees draft? I said, yes, I have brought 1 lakh rupees draft. So, but then he said, still read the agreement. If there is a minor changes, we may, accept those changes. So I read the draft, and there was hardly, the only thing I said that the margins they were giving, 80 rupees per TV was too small. I said, we will not be able to work on this margin. So please increase this margin. So they increased the margin to 100 rupees. That was all the changes they made, and we signed the agreement. I gave them the draft, and this evening is over. He said, come tomorrow. We will now decide the strategy of how to enter the Calcutta market and so on. Next day morning when I went, he actually gave me 4 thick files, and he said, these are the people who had applied for this agency. And when I went through the file, I saw that each and everybody in Calcutta has applied for the agency. Harry's Music House, Harmony House, Capital Electronics, Days Medical, and so many people, manufacturers, traders, retailers, everyone has applied. I think there was more than 3,000 applications from Calcutta for dealership. And they were big names. I was really wondering that, when such people has applied, why he has decided to give the agency to me? So I asked Mr. Bhattagar, I have a question. He said, what? I said, look at these people, look at their profile. I mean, they are one of some of the best and most successful companies from Calcutta who's applied for your agency, and you have not given it to them, you have given it to me. I have nothing to show. He said, that is the precisely we have given it to you. He said, you have no other business. So your entire focus will be selling this TV and you have to make it work. You cannot afford to fail because this is your bread and butter. Your 100% devotion and 100% time will be given to this business, which is what we want. These people, our business is going to be 1 in 10, 1 in 5. For them, our business is not important. Whether it works or it doesn't work, they don't give a hoot. So I have not selected them because we don't want to be with somebody whose top priority is not us, whose top priority is something else. I have given you because you have no other business. So the weakness, or what should I say, the lack of experience or lack of other businesses, which my uncle said will be the reason why I would get rejected, was precisely the reason why I got selected, among all the competitive bids. So my message to all of you is, no matter what negative people tell you, no matter what people say, your immediate family members or others say about your weakness, or reasons why you can't do a particular work, may not be the right reason for you to fail, but may be the right reason for you to succeed, or that may be your competitive advantage. So please don't give up things which you want to do just because some people come and tell you, oh, you don't deserve this, or you don't have the required qualification or no capabilities to do this business or do this work. Who knows? Those very things can be your strength, or the very things can be the reason for you to succeed. So please don't get influenced by these negative people in life. Go ahead and do things what you want to do. I am sure you will succeed.